So with this type of scanning, it's a form of biofeedback. So what we're going to be measuring for when we're doing the scan. So the way that the scan works is you send frequencies through the pads. So you'll put one pad on. So when I'm doing it, obviously I'm not going to put it on this wrist. I'm going to put it on here, on this wrist, and the opposite foot. Or if you've got a specific area where you know your problems are. So if you know it's a digestive issue, and this is what I did a lot, we'll put one on the lower side of my abdomen, like down here, and one on the upper side on the back on the other side. And when you're scanning, what you're going to be testing for is two things. So you're going to be testing for the resistance that the machine feels from the current traveling through. So if you're using a different carrier wave, you're using a different frequency, it's going to be going through different organisms. And based on the level of resistance that the machine feels can determine whether the organism is present or not. So this is really cool because it helps you know if the organism is there. So that's good, that helps you know if the organism is there. But that doesn't necessarily mean you need to treat it. Like, just because Lyme might be present doesn't mean it's a thing that needs to be treated right away. And the way that the machine will do this is we'll be using, instead of just testing for presence, we'll be testing for biofeedback from the body. So the conductivity will also change as you're using the machine, because when you kill an organism that is pathogenic and it is making you sick, it will elicit a relaxation response. So the thing that will produce is called galvanic response. So you'll sweat less, which means the conductivity will be less, and the machine can pick that up. Whereas if you kill an organism that is beneficial to you, that will elicit a stress response, because obviously your body doesn't want you to kill that. So it will say, oh, that's stressful. That's a frequency that we don't want run. And your body will pick up on that. You'll have increased skin conductivity. It will pick up on that from the machine. And then this will be recorded through the testing results. And then at the end of the test, when you run through the database of all the different frequencies, you'll have some frequencies that scored high and the other ones that scored low. And what we do is we look at the top 10 that scored high and look at what different types of medical conditions and what different types of organisms can be associated with these frequencies. So, for example, so John has done a lot of like COVID tests, because the symptoms are very similar to what you would expect from COVID infection, and they're all coming back negative. So that doesn't necessarily mean it isn't COVID, because COVID test the testing that they use to test for COVID is not really even designed to test for COVID. The guy that invented those kind of tests says it's not designed to be used for infectious disease. So it's not really a good form of testing. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to scan through the frequencies. Where's my other cable gone? We're going to scan through the other frequencies and see if, from a biofeedback perspective, there's any organism that needs to be targeted and killed. So, okay, we've got the power cable here. So the power cable is like this. Just plugs into the back of the machine. Into the side there. And we'll see what's present. And it could be COVID, it could be some other type of organism, whatever it is. And if the body responds as this is pathogenic and we need to kill it, then we can target it with the same frequency that we use to test for it, and we can kill it. And this way we can help the body get on top of the infection. It doesn't do the whole job, it just kills the organism. So when you're feeling ill, and when you've got like a chronic infection, it's not just about the virus itself. Most of the symptoms that you experience are your body killing the infection and cleaning up the mess that the infection has caused while it's been present. So you've got like inflammation, and you've got like your cells secreting lots of mucus and stuff in the lungs. Like, that's not actually the virus, that's your body's adaptive response to fight the virus. And even when the virus is killed, it still has to clean all of that up, and that's not something the Spooky can help you with. What the Spooky is really doing is outsourcing that part of your immune system that's killing the infection itself. So if we take that job away from your body, so your body doesn't have to do that, it can then divert all of the energy that it was using to do that to do those other things. But this is why I would suggest that you don't just go crazy and kill it so fast, because then you're going to have all of this mess that you need to clean up. That even though your body has more energy that it can allocate to that cleanup process, because it isn't having to do the killing, it can still overwhelm you, and that's what makes you feel really, really poorly. So that's what makes you feel like low energy, depression, and a low mood. Can make you feel really lethargic and very unenthusiastic to do anything.